The great medieval Persian traveler Nasir Khosrow referred to exile as a scorpion. As an Iranian who was forced into exile in 1978, for me, that stinger was seeing the community of Iranian Jews in the United States completely losing their roots. I had that eureka moment that if I don't do it, this is going to get lost. For the first 600-700 years after the destruction of the First Temple, the history of Jews on earth is literally the history of the Jews in Iran. Jews were taken out of Judea and they lived in captivity as slaves so that they could no longer conspire against the government. They lived in captivity until Cyrus came and liberated them and allowed them to go back to their original land, rebuild the temple. So some of these Jews migrated back home, and the overwhelming majority traveled east to go and settle in various areas of today's Iran. During that period, the Jews of Iran participated in every level of society. There were parts of courtiers. One of them was the Queen of Iran, Esther. The first Talmud was compiled by Jewish rabbis who lived in an area we know as Old Babylon, but in reality, that was then Iran. Without the Jews of Iran, nothing about what we know today as Judaism would look anything like it does today. As time goes by and Islam comes to Iran, now the circumstances had changed. The Jews of Iran, under Muslim rule, were now second-class citizens. In the 12th century, we have evidence of many of them becoming powerful governors, having impacts on the lives of Iranians that remained for years. But that changed in 1501 with the rise to power of the Safavid dynasty. So over the next 500 years, life became particularly difficult for the Jews of Iran. They were not able to live freely in society, and the religious ordinances that were imposed upon Jews became more and more harsh. Things gradually started to take a turn for the better for the Jewish communities with the constitutional revolution in Iran, which abolished the second-class citizenship of all non-Shiite religious communities in Iran and granted them the permission to have one representative in the parliament. After World War II, Iran also experienced a post-war economic boom. And at that point, any Iranian citizen who was willing to contribute to the advancement of industry in Iran was welcome to come on board. The Jews of Iran saw a meteoric rise to power. Industries such as pharmaceuticals, insurance, aluminum, plastics, real estate development, agriculture. These were all industries that were either owned by Jewish families or managed and operated under their supervision, which slowly started to change with the revolution in 1978. Nevertheless, they remained the largest community of Jews in the Middle East outside of Israel. The more I live away from Iran, the more I understand the profoundness of the scorpion. Ultimately, what you realize is that it was that stinger of exile that has pushed you to now look for an antidote. There is a tendency in the academic world to refer to the Jewish communities of the Middle East as Jews in Muslim lands. What is lost when people don't understand this aspect of Jewish history is the fact that for millennia, these communities coexisted, found a way to live next to each other. If there were more resources dedicated to understanding these histories, coexistence will no longer seem like an impossible formula. A lot of what may seem impossible will become possible.